glorious day. Now, while it's not too chilly, the cold weather is on its way. I've got some horticultural fleece and a blanket for my dahlias under my arm because I might not feel like doing it once the temperatures really start to plummet. So today is a good day to get ourselves all prepared. Here we've got our dahlia crates, and then we've got 2 layers of tarpaulin, and then we're going to put 2 layers of blankets. These are just cheap blankets that I had in the cupboard, just old ones, and then that should keep everything snug for the duration of the cold spell. I might actually bring in my eucalyptus plants. They are in a sheltered spot, but I think there is room. Look at that in there. There is room in my greenhouse, so I'm going to bring them in. If you haven't got room in your greenhouse, just bring them up to a really sheltered spot, maybe by the back door, where a little bit of the heat from the house will leak out, and keep them a bit warmer than they would be out in the garden. So here is the greenhouse. As it's before midday, I am actually going to open all the vents and the doors just for 20 minutes, just to clear all the air through, and then I will cover the ranunculus. The sweet peas, not so much. You can do if you want to. Again, all the vents are open and the door's open. I'll come back in 20 minutes and then close everything up. Just give it one last blow through. In the past, tried using a paraffin heater to keep the greenhouse from freezing. However, it didn't really touch the sides. The plants didn't seem to benefit at all. It's so cold, and the paraffin heater tends to run out in the middle of the night. So I've not used it for years, and we've been absolutely fine. We've gone down as far as -8 degrees, and everything's been all right with a bit of horticultural fleece. And also, don't forget, these plants, they haven't been newly sown. This is not going to be too much of a shock to them because the temperature has been coming down slowly over very many weeks. See here that I've pulled my plants away from the glass, because if the leaves are physically touching the glass, if these leaves are pressed up against the glass, then they can still get bitten by the frost, or they could just stay continuously wet and rot on you. You've seen some examples of where the leaves have been damaged already. So move them away from the glass if you can. If you can't, just use a bit of horticultural fleece as a barrier. So if you pop that down behind the plants, and that will act as a barrier between the leaf and the outside surface, which is what I'm going to have to do with the ranunculus, which are all the way up here. I'm going to pull the trays away slightly, put the fleece in behind, and then push them back to hold it secure. If you've only got a very, very small Zippy, or that's a plastic greenhouse, it's a greenhouse with zips. I made it up, so don't Google it. If you've got a very, very small Zippy or mini greenhouse and you don't have any horticultural fleece, or there's just no room in the greenhouse, what you can do is just cheat, and in the evenings, just throw a bath towel, big bath sheet over the top of your little plastic greenhouse. You will have to take it off in the morning because it doesn't let any light in. So you are going to have to, as soon as you get up in the morning, come down and take it off. But for emergencies, and if you've got nothing else, a bath towel will keep the frost off of the mini greenhouse. It won't be frost free. It will still, the plants will still freeze inside, but that's okay. It's just the actual touching of the frost crystals on the foliage that we're protecting. It's a bit like freezer burn. We put our products, before we put them in the freezer, they're in either plastic bags or greaseproof paper, aren't they, to prevent the food from getting freezer burn. If we put it straight in the freezer with nothing on it, then it goes all funny. It's the same thing. Just like this. This is my prop Zippy. I don't need it, but I have it for when we're having our chats. And this is just a dust cover. I'll leave it over the top just to keep the Zippy smart, stop it getting dusty. But because it's over the outside of the Zippy, it doesn't matter that it's heavy. What you might like to see what I'm doing. So you can see the fleece is going behind the ranunculus, and because this one's on the end, I'm also making sure that I cover it this side as well. Now I've got to get all the way along the rest of the greenhouse. You might be wondering whether you can use your plastic propagator lids as a bit of double glazing instead of the horticultural fleece? And the answer is absolutely, yes, you can. However, you are going to have to remember to take them off during the day, because with these cold nights, we're also going to get sparkling sunny days and your plants could overheat. The beauty of the horticultural fleece is it's breathable. So once you've gone through the hassle of putting it on, you can leave it in place for the duration of the cold spell.